We are so excited to have with us today Desiree Ellenwood. She is a school based mental health professional, and she will be doing our segment with our youth and our young teenagers during the women's conference. So I'm just excited to have her with us on today as she is going to share with us. So, all right. Well, Desiree, before we dive in, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are outside of all of your titles?
Yes. So, of course, like she said, my name is Desiree Ellenwood. I am a mental health counselor at a middle school. I played volleyball in college at the University of Georgia, and I definitely enjoyed that time and missed that time. But I have dabbled in coaching a little bit. Um, Mainly spent a lot of time with my family, my husband and two children, and we do some traveling and just trying new things, um, meeting new people, things like that. I enjoy reading, watching TV on occasion, and all that good stuff.
Awesome. And you all can see she's here being the holistic woman with that new baby that she just had, the new baby girl. So we all been there. We all been there. So if you had to describe yourself in three words, what would they be and why?
Very, I always, every time we get this question, I'm always like, how should I answer it? Three words, I would definitely say that I'm hardworking. I try to work hard, just to help others, also providing for my family and things like that. I also feel like I am a pretty empathic person. And I definitely feel emotions and feel others' emotions. um, and sometimes it's really, really good, and sometimes it can be very difficult. But it's a blessing to have that type of, um, I guess, personality type, in my opinion. I would also say that I am pretty strong-willed. Um, I'm pretty strong-willed, having, children two and under. I know it's not easy, but it is a blessing and I'm very thankful for it. And if I'm gonna do something and put my mind to it, I'm gonna do it. So
Yes. Yes, and I think that's very important when we talk about the holistic woman, especially having the strong will, because sometimes not having that strong will revert back to a place that we really don't want to be. But
mhm.
with being strong will and then being empathetic too, being empathetic to others around you, I think that helps you as well be a holistic woman. So
Yes.
when you think of that term, in what ways in your own life, how do you strive to be holistic woman, mind, body, and spirit?
That's also a good question. This year I'm trying to do a better job when it comes to my spirituality and my faith. Just
Mhm.
being in the Bible more. And even if
Mhm.
that means just letting my phone read the Bible to me, at least I'm getting it. And just being more aware of that. I also feel like I'm trying to do some different things in my life, and some things that are challenging and have been challenging in the past.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that I can kind of overcome that, like kind of manage my anxiety around those things, because sometimes I feel like I worry and my anxiety get the best of me, and I'll let it talk me out of doing things. So definitely doing things like that as well. I think for my body, I've been trying to do, of course, more exercising and things like that. But mainly when I think of being holistic, when it comes to all the different things and all the different hats that we wear, it's one of those things where sometimes we feel like as moms, as wives, as daughters, as cousins, as friends, that we have to do all of these things and we have to, it's always doing this for someone else and things like that. But I know what I need for me, and I have to continue to identify that and making sure that I'm doing that first and foremost, and then whatever comes after will be fine.
Right, right. And I think that's very important. Like you said, understanding what I know, what I need from me. And I think sometimes that's where anxiety comes from because we try to compare ourselves to the next person and what they need for themselves. And so that gives us anxiety because we're not doing it the way that they're doing it, or it's not working the way, but that's what works for them best, but not necessarily what works for us. And so,
Right.
and I love your transparency with you saying that you're trying to, grow your faith more, because if we are honest, I mean, sometimes reading the Bible, especially when you get all them names in the Bible, you're like, okay, now come on, can we get you this far? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, and it's hard. So, you got to let it read to you so that you can absorb it. And then sometimes it'll make you stop and be like, wait a minute, did they just say that? And you'll go back to it. So, and exercise, honey, that's something we all struggle with. Let me tell you. Whew. Oh yeah, that one right there. We all struggle with that. But I mean, hey, we're a work in progress. We're a work in progress. But I love that knowing what works best for me makes me better. So if you had an entire day off with no responsibilities, how would you spend it?
Probably, if I had like a private jet, I'd travel around and eat all the good food I can. I know
Yeah,
that's super, whatever, but of course I would have my family with me. But no, I just would love to see some of the places that I feel like may be hard to see with two young kids.
right, absolutely. And that speaks to your self-care, because it's all about self-care when we're talking about being holistic. And I think sometimes we neglect that because we're trying to care for so many others. So what? If you had a day off, no responsibilities, girl, get in that jet. Go eat what you want to eat, go see what you want to see, and that speaks to you. That brings us life when we take care of ourselves in that manner. And I mean, and just being able to do that is a privilege, because some people don't have that opportunity to have self-care. They don't have that opportunity to even dream like that. And so,
Right,
and I think it's important as we're talking about the empowering the holistic woman. Like, this is not just a conference for me. This is a way of life that I want women to live. I want them to be purposeful in everything that they do. And I grew up in churches, that, and being just spiritually great is not going to make you the best person in the world. We have to have all aspects. We have to be whole. And I believe that the Lord has called us to be whole in every area of our life. What I think scripture, even though he was talking to a man, he was like, will thou be made whole? And he wasn't just talking about being healed from his physical ailments, but being healed all over, from his
right,
past, from the reason that got him to be on his bed at the pool, from his excuses, because I don't have nobody to put me in. But so I won't think that the Lord is saying, I want you to be whole in all area of your life, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And
hmm
once we get, that aligned, we can really do some great things, and we can grow. I mean, we can grow, and especially as African American women, sometimes we don't share the true burden of what we feel. And I
hmm
think sometimes that stops us from growth, because we feel that, okay, well, I shouldn't feel this way. These are my children. I shouldn't be burdened with this. But the truth is, we all come and we find that place. But that's why it's important to take care of ourselves and to have self-care.
right.
Speaking of that, and to grow, to grow, having fun, taking your family, places that you didn't have an opportunity to go, and to grow on purpose, in purpose. So I
Right.
love that. I love it. Yeah. So what's one lesson that life has taught you about growth, healing, or self-love?
Growth, healing, and self love. Sometimes it doesn't feel pleasant going through it, but on the backside of it, once you've figured out like kind of what you've learned, figured out where, what you needed from that particular relationship or that particular assignment or class or whatever, you realize, oh, I actually needed that and that was helpful. And so sometimes when I have to remind myself, if I'm going through something and I'm feeling like it's really hard or feeling like I'm not, you know, it's not the way I want it to be, it's like, okay, maybe I need to look at this differently. What do I need to learn from this? How do I need to grow from this? How do I need to, make this, worthwhile in the end? And once I've come to that, I think a lot of times it makes me go through it a little bit easier, or it gives me a little bit more peace
Right.
when I'm trying to learn and grow and do all those things.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because growth is uncomfortable. Think about it. I mean, for those women that are listening to this, when you experience pregnancy, it's not comfortable getting bigger. Okay, and your skin stretching, but as you grow, you're able to learn from that. And then the good thing about that is you grow and your body stretches, but then once the baby is delivered, then your body is healed,
Mm,
from that area of growth. So growth
yes.
does bring about healing and transformation. So that's a good thing. I love how you said that. I do. So if you had to create a holistic woman starter kit, what three things would be in it?
I think sometimes we hear the word thrown around a lot, but I think journaling is
Okay.
really, really good.
Mhm.
Um, and I need to do it more myself. But I think sometimes it's good to just put your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, your goals, your anything on paper. And sometimes it's a release to kind of let it be or to speak it into existence or however you want to look at it. So I think
Mhm.
journaling, a journal. I also think that there are some important relationships you have to have, which I know it's like you can't really put that in a starter kit, but finding good people that you feel like you can grow with, you can be uncomfortable with, but also that you feel loved and cared for. I
Mhm.
think that that's really, really important. And it doesn't have to be like hundreds of people. It could be one or two people that you really
Yes.
truly feel comfortable and care for. But I
Yes.
do think that we as humans, we need that connection. So I also would say that. And the third thing, I would just say like I would say giving yourself grace, another thing you can't really put in there. But I think sometimes as women, especially, we are always on the go. We're always doing this, we're always doing that. And sometimes it's okay to give yourself grace and say, you know what, like I need help or I need to take a step back. So I
Mhm.
think that that's kind of some of the things that I would put in my holistic woman starter kit.
I like that. A journal, a good friend, accountability partner, someone who can correct you or let you know, when you're going off the beaten path, and someone who can comfort you when you've gone off the beaten path. I love
Yes.
that. And then grace, because we definitely all need a little more grace in every area of our lives. So that's a good starter kit. That's a good starter kit. I like that. I like that. And if you could speak a word of encouragement over women today, what would it be?
I would definitely say like what you are looking for or what you may be wanting may not be here right now, but it doesn't mean it's not coming or it may be in a different form than what you're thinking. So don't
Mhm.
necessarily give up. Keep trying until you know that door for sure is closed. That's something that I feel like we as women, we have to continue doing because if we don't, then, who knows what will happen.
Right, right, right. Well, thank you so much, Desiree. This has been so good. Whatever you do, do not stop if the door is closed. Because if it's supposed to be open for you, no matter how long it takes for you to walk through it, it'll always remain open. So I think we get ourselves in trouble when we try to pull down doors that have already been closed. But if it's open, it's going to stay open for you. So
Right.
thank you so much for sharing with us. We are so excited to have you at the Empowering the Holistic Woman, April the 11th through the 13th. And you'll be talking about owning your feelings and prioritizing mental health from a perspective for the teenagers. So if you have teenagers out there, if you have the preteens, 12 through 18, please come. Desiree has something great for them, something in store. So again, thank you so much, Desiree, for joining us, and I appreciate your time with us. All right. Well,
Yeah,
can't
no
wait to see you at the conference. Thank you. Bye,
problem.
Masai. That's the baby girls, just for y'all to know. Yeah, that's her.